In all the wild blue seas, in all the wild blue world, the top school for fish was Theodore Roeser Fish Elementary. And of all the fish at Theodore Roeser Fish Elementary, the biggest and the strongest was Clark the Shark. Clark loved school, and he loved his teacher, Miss Inky Dink. He loved to play upsy-downsy and spin-a-majig with his friends. Clark loved his life. School is awesome, shouted Clark the Shark. Less shouting, more reading, said Miss Inky Dink. Lunchtime is sweet, yelled Clark the Shark. Munch your own lunch, said his best friend Joey Mackerel. Recess rocks, bellowed Clark the Shark. You're playing rough, Clark, cried the other kids. Yes, Clark loved his life with all of his sharky heart, but he loved everything way too much. He was too loud, he was too wild, and he was just too much shark for the other fish to handle. After a while, no one would play with Shark. Clark. No one ate lunch with him. No one sat with him at a circle time. Even his best friend, Joey Mackerel, said, "Cool your jets, Clark. You're making me crazy." One day, Clark asked Miss Inky Dink, "What's wrong with everyone?" Miss Inky Dink patted his fin. "Clark, sometimes you play too hard. You munch too hard, and gosh, you even help too hard. But life is so exciting," said Clark. "There's a time and a place for everything," said Mrs. Inky Dink, "and sometimes the rule is stay cool." At recess, Clark tried to stay cool, but he pushed the swing with too much zing. "Sorry," said Clark. "I forgot." "Yikes!" cried Joey Mackerel. At lunch, Clark tried to stay cool, but everything smelled so good that he munched a bunch of lunches. "Sorry," said Clark. "I forgot." "We're starving," said his friends. In class, Clark tried to stay cool, but a good book got him all shook up. "Now, Clark," said Mrs. Inky Dink, "this isn't the time or the place. Tell me, what's the rule?" "Stay cool," said Clark. "Hey, that rhymes," he cried. Then Clark got a big idea in his sharky head. "Maybe if I make it rhyme, I'll remember every time," he thought. The next day, he put his plan to work. In class, when lessons got exciting, Clark wanted to bounce up out of his seat. Instead, he told himself, "When teacher's talking, don't go walking." And what do you know? It worked. "Attaboy, Clark," said Mrs. Inky Dink. Clark smiled. Lessons are fun. At lunch, everything smelled so yummy. When Clark wanted to eat and never stop, he told himself, "Only munch your own lunch." And it worked again. "Way to go, Clark," said his friends. Clark grinned. Lunch is fun. At playtime, Clark told himself, "Easy does it, that's the way. Then my friends will let me play." And playtime was fun. Once more, Clark loved his life. But then, a shadow fell across the playground. A ginormous shadow with tentacles galore. "It's a new kid and he looks scary," cried Joey Mackerel. "Swim for your lives." The squid squashed the slide and snapped off the swings. "Oops, my bad," said the new kid. "Wait," said Clark. "He just wants to play. Let's find a way." And he swam at the new kid with all his might. Clark played harder than he ever had before. Upsy-downsy and spin-a-majig. Why, he even made up a new game, Tail Wumpa-Lumps. "Wow, that was fun," said the new kid breathlessly, and he settled down. If you want to come to school, you gotta stay cool, said Clark. That's right, Clark, said Mrs. Inky Dink. And thanks for taking care of our new classmate, Sid the Squid. Hooray for Clark the Shark! Everyone cheered. That night, Clark's mother asked, "What did you learn at school, dear?" "There's a time and a place for everything," Clark said. "Sometimes you stay cool. But sometimes the shark's gotta do what a shark's gotta do." The end. Hey. Hey, buddy. Hey, Pepper. Buddy, I think you'll probably like this story. Are you ready? Oh, buddy. Down. That works, I guess. Down. Buddy. Jeez. Louise. Okay, survived that. One summer day, someone new waddled into Baron's life. Her name was Fluffy. Baron had to share his food with her and his water. At night, she even followed him to his favorite sleeping place. They became friends. Every day, the two of them played together. Baron was good at tag. Fluffy was great at hide and seek. Both of them were terrific at squirrel chasing and fly snapping. As the summer passed, Fluffy grew bigger and bigger. By autumn, she was a full-grown duck. She and Baron stayed close and warm together all winter long. Then spring arrived, and 3 wild ducks landed in the pond. Fluffy watched, waddling back and forth, toward the newcomers, and then back to Baron again. But finally, she couldn't resist joining the other ducks. Suddenly, Baron had no one to play with him. When it was time for dinner, Fluffy still hadn't returned. Baron had to eat alone. For the next 3 nights, Fluffy didn't curl up with Baron in their favorite sleeping place. Then, the wild ducks flew away. Baron tried to play with Fluffy, but when she was too busy making a nest, she laid 9 eggs in it, then gently settled herself on top and waited for them to hatch. 4 weeks later, there were ducklings. Fluffy wanted Baron to be the first one to meet them. Baron's tail wagged and wagged. Fluffy's wagged a lot too. At last it was time to play again. Oh, what fun they all had. That evening, Baron led the way to dinner. Never had he shared a happier meal. And after such a busy day, everyone was eager to snuggle in together and fall asleep. Baron felt cozy and warm in his favorite sleeping place, with 9 brand new friends, and best of all, his old friend Fluffy. The end. Once there were 3 baby owls, Sarah and Percy and Bill. They lived in a hole in the trunk of a tree with their owl mother. The hole had twigs and leaves and owl feathers in it. It was their house. One night, they woke up and their owl mother was gone. "Where's Mommy?" asked Sarah. "Oh my goodness," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. Oh, that must be so frightening for our 3 young owls here.
baby owls thought, "All owls think a lot." "I think she's gone hunting," said Sarah. "To get us our food," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. But their owl mother didn't come. The baby owls came out of their house and they sat on the tree and waited. A big branch for Sarah, a small branch for Percy, and an old piece of ivy for Bill. "She'll be back soon," said Sarah. "Back soon," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. Poor Bill. It was dark in the woods, and they had to be brave, for things moved all around them. "She'll bring us mice and things that are nice," said Sarah. "I suppose so," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. Bill's having a rough night. They sat and they thought, "All owls think a lot." "I think we should all sit on my branch," said Sarah. And they did. All three sat together. "Suppose she got lost," said Sarah. "Or a fox got her," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. And the baby owls closed their owl eyes and they wished their owl mother would come. And she came. Soft and silent, she swooped through the trees to Sarah and Percy and Bill. "Mommy!" they cried as they flapped and they danced and they bounced up and down on their branch. "What's all the fuss?" their owl mother asked. "You knew I'd come right back." The baby owls thought, "All owls think a lot." "I knew it," said Sarah. "And I knew it," said Percy. "I love my mommy," said Bill. The end.
There once lived a penguin. His home was in a nice icy land he shared with his companions. His companions were named Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect. His name was Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird. Every day, Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect greeted each other quietly and politely. Tacky greeted them with a hearty slap on the back and a loud, "What's happening?" Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect always marched. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tacky always marched 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 6, 0, 2.5, 0. His companions were graceful divers. Tacky liked to do splashy cannonballs. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect always sang pretty songs like Sunrise on the Iceberg. Tacky always sang songs like, "How many toes does a fish have?" Tacky was an odd bird. One day, the penguins heard the thump, thump, thump of feet in the distance. This could only mean one thing. Hunters had come. They came with maps and traps and rocks and locks, and they were rough and tough. As the thump, thump, thump drew closer, the penguins could hear the growly voices chanting. "We're gonna catch some pretty penguins and we'll march them with the switch and we'll sell them for $1 and get rich, rich, rich." Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect ran away in fright. They hid behind a block of ice. Tacky stood alone. The hunters marched right up to him, chanting, "We're gonna catch some pretty penguins and we'll march them with the switch and we'll sell them for $1 and get rich, rich, rich." "What's happening?" blared Tacky, giving one hunter an especially hearty slap on the back. They growled, "We're hunting for penguins, that's what's happening." "Penguins?" said Tacky. "Do you mean those birds that march neatly in a row?" And he marched 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 6, 0, 2.5, 0. The hunters looked puzzled. "Do you mean those birds that dive so gracefully?" Tacky asked. And he did a splash of cannonball. The hunters looked wet. "Do you mean those birds that sing such pretty songs?" Tacky began to sing, and from behind the block of ice came the voices of his companions, all singing as loudly and dreadfully as they could. "How many toes does a fish have? And how many wings on a cow? I wonder, yup, I wonder." The hunters could not stand the horrible singing. This could not be the land of the pretty penguins. They ran away with their hands clasped tightly over their ears, leaving behind their maps and traps and rocks and lots, and not looking at all rough and tough. Goodly, lovely, Angel neatly and perfect hugged Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird, but a very nice bird to have around. The end. In the jingle jangle jungle, on a cold and rainy day, 4 little friends found a perfect place to play. Moose had marvelous antlers, and Lion a golden mane. Zebra had fantastic stripes, and Sheep, well, Sheep was plain. None of them had noticed that someone else was there. Sleeping in that cave was a very cranky bear. "Roar!" went the cranky bear. "Roar, roar, roar!" He gnashed his teeth and stomped his feet and chased them out the door. So, in the jingle jangle jungle on a cold and rainy day, 4 little friends had nowhere warm to play. "Wait a minute," said Zebra as she scratched her furry chin. "Maybe if we cheered him up, he'd let us come back in." "If I did not have stripes," said Zebra, "I'd be cranky too. We should give that bear some stripes. That's what we should do." "Stripes are silly," Moose complained, "especially on a bear. My antlers always cheer me up. Let's give that bear a pair." "No, no, 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 no," said Lion. "Antlers are a bore. A golden mane like mine," he said, "but cheer him up for sure." As Zebra fetched a tin of mud and Lion some grass of gold, Moose got 2 big branches, and Sheep got gold. Sheep was getting worried. They'd been eaten up for sure. And then, from in the cave, there came a very cranky roar. Zebra, Lion, and Moose ran out, and Bear was right behind them. They hid behind the bushes where they hoped he wouldn't find them. "Why is he still cranky? He's got antlers, stripes, and mane. Before we gave him those," Lion said, "he looked so very plain." As Bear stormed back inside the cave, he turned and roared at Sheep. "All I really want," he said, "is a quiet place to sleep." So, she fetched a pair of clippers. She clipped off half her wool. She stuffed it in a cotton bag until the bag was full. She tiptoed back inside the cave. "Excuse me, Bear," she said. "Would you like a pillow for underneath your head?" "Oh, thank you very much," said Bear, and soon he fell asleep. Maybe he was dreaming of a plain but thoughtful sheep. The end. Scaredy Squirrel never leaves his nut tree. He'd rather stay in a safe and familiar tree than risk venturing out into the unknown. The unknown can be a scary place for a squirrel. The unknown. A few things Scaredy Squirrel is afraid of. Tarantulas, poison ivy, green Martians, killer bees, germs, and sharks. So he's perfectly happy to stay right where he is. Advantages of never leaving the nut tree: great view, plenty of nuts, safe place, and no tarantulas, poison ivy, green Martians, killer bees, germs, and sharks. Disadvantages of never leaving the nut tree: same old view, same old nuts, same old place. In Scaredy Squirrel's nut tree, every day is the same. Everything is predictable. All is under control. On Monday, Scaredy Squirrel's in the tree. Tuesday, still in the tree. Wednesday, you guessed it, in the tree. Thursday, oh, he's in a different part of the tree. Friday, he went to the top. Saturday, just hanging down here in the tree. And Sunday, back up there in the tree. Scaredy Squirrel's daily routine. At 6:45 a.m., he wakes up. At 7 a.m., he eats a nut. 7:15 a.m., look at view. At 12 o'clock noon, he eats a nut. At 12:30 p.m., look at the view. At 5 o'clock p.m., eat a nut. At 5:31 p.m., look at view. And at 8 o'clock p.m., go to sleep. But let's say, just for example, that something unexpected did happen. You can rest assured that this squirrel is prepared. A few items in Scaredy Squirrel's emergency kit: a parachute, bug spray, mask and rubber gloves, a hard hat, antibacterial soap, calamine lotion, net, Band-Aid, and sardines. And what to do in a case of emergency? According to Scaredy Squirrel: Step 1, panic. Step 2, run. Step 3, get kit. Step 4, put on kit. Step 5, consult exit plan. And step 6, exit tree, if there's absolutely, definitely, truly no other option. This is the exit plan, top secret. Exit 1. Note to self: watch out for green Martians and killer bees in the sky. Exit 2. Note to self: do not land in river. If unavoidable, use sardines to distract sharks. Exit 3. Note to self: look out for poison ivy and for tarantulas roaming the ground. And exit 4. Note to self: keep in mind that germs are everywhere. Remember, if all else fails, playing dead is always a good option. With his emergency kit in hand, Scaredy Squirrel watches. Day after day, he watches. Until one day, Thursday, 9:37 a.m. A killer bee appears! Scaredy Squirrel jumps in a panic, knocking his emergency kit out of the tree. This was not part of the plan. Scaredy Squirrel jumps to catch his kit. He quickly regrets his idea. The parachute is in the kit, but something incredible happens. He starts to glide, and Scaredy Squirrel is no ordinary squirrel. He's a flying squirrel. Scaredy Squirrel forgets all about the killer bee, not to mention the tarantulas, poison ivy, green Martians, germs, and sharks. He feels overjoyed, adventurous, carefree, alive, until he lands in a bush and plays dead. 30 minutes later, 1 hour later, 2 hours later. Finally, Scaredy Squirrels realize that nothing horrible is happening in the unknown today. So he returns to his nut tree. All this excitement was inspired Scaredy Squirrel to make drastic changes to his life. Scaredy Squirrel's new and improved daily routine. At 6:45 a.m., wake up. 7 o'clock a.m., eat a nut. 7:15 a.m., look at view. 9:37 a.m., jump into the unknown. At 9:45 a.m., play dead. 11:45 a.m., return home. Return home. At 12 o'clock noon, eat a nut. At 12:30 p.m., look at view. 5 o'clock p.m., eat a nut. 5:31 p.m., look at view. And 8 o'clock p.m., go to sleep. P.S. As for the emergency kit, Scaredy Squirrel is in no hurry to pick it up just yet. The end.